All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I think that we should talk about what everyone's talking about. Well, let's just look at the S&P first. I mean, it was kind of a unimportant day in the market. We get the S&P here. Like today was not a meaningful move. Some days in the market are important and some days aren't. I don't think that today was a very important day in equities, but I do think that it's an important day in the whole world of the cryptos. All right. And here's why. And remember, what I teach here at Stock Market Jobber is about psychology. And I mean, I was in the institutional trading world for almost 25 years. So I don't want to sound like a pretentious douchebag, but I know what I'm talking about. And it's successful trading is about understanding psychology. It's not about having like a secret system or this or that and the other thing. So anyway, before I go into our cryptos, look at this. Okay, here's the S&P. Bottom of the range, 468. Top of the range, 477. Okay. Why is it that we could get support and get support again? Why is it that we can get resistance here and get resistance here? It's because of the psychology. It's not because of what they're saying on CNBC or Fox Business News or Bloomberg. There are people who sold down here. And then the next day, the friggin' thing goes higher. So they're just like, why the hell did I sell? All right, if I could buy it back at the price I sold it at, I'm going to. So when it gets back down to the level that was support, it becomes support again. All right. Seller's remorse can keep support intact for a while. On the top of the range, resistance can become resistance again. Why? Buyer's remorse. There are people who bought here, price goes lower. They're like, oh gosh, if I can get out of break even, I'm going to. We see support at levels that were support. We see resistance that were at levels that were resistance. It happens all the time. It's just a fundamental of trading and of financial markets and of psychology. All right, so let's just look at Apple here, and I'm going to talk about the whole crypto thing, which I think is like a kind of an issue. So stick it out until the end, and please sign up, man. We're getting so close. We got to get my understanding is we got to get 1,000 people so I can start making money on the YouTube channel. I mean, I know it's not a lot, but hey, man, these days anything helps. All right, what happened here? Apple ran into resistance at a level that was resistance. How does this happen? How does the most popular stock literally in the world, or at least one of them, find these precise levels? People bought back here. They get underwater. They tell themselves, if it ever gets back to my level, I'm going to sell. All right. Gets finally back up there. There's resistance. So remorseful buyers trying to get out of break even can keep resistance intact. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about this whole Bitcoin thing. My thought is that we're going to see a kind of a big sell off here if it hasn't started already. Why? There's an old expression on Wall Street: buy the rumors, sell the news. All right. What does that mean? Well, to put it in kind of, I guess, logical terms, buy the rumor, sell the news. People were so excited that this Bitcoin thing was going to go through. What happened? They bought before before everyone kind of, well, not everyone, but a lot of people anticipated, okay, this is going to be great news for Bitcoin. It's going to go up. But notice it hasn't gone up. Okay, it's gone sideways. Why is this? Well, maybe it's just because everyone who wanted to own Bitcoin bought it already ahead of the news. Okay. And then when the news comes out, good, bad, or indifferent, if everyone who wants to buy it has bought it, it ain't going up, man. You know, it's like you need buyers to push the market higher. If the buyers are done, it's not going to go higher. And just kind of interestingly here, like what we just looked at with Apple, check this out. Okay. I don't make this stuff up, man. You know, I'm not trying to sell some stupid ass product here. I'm not telling you I'm a guru. To be perfectly frank, when I see a lot of this stuff on YouTube and it's such garbage, it's almost offensive to the intelligence. Okay. Um, I was a trader in the institutional world for 25 years. I hate to say that because it makes me feel old, but I've been around the block. I've seen every strategy. I've heard all the myths. I know the realities. Okay, just like in Apple, what happened? We got to a level that was resistance before. It becomes resistance again. How is it possible that the chart of Bitcoin looks similar to the chart of Apple? Well, the reality is, or the reason is because the people that trade Bitcoin and the people that trade Apple might have very different styles, but they feel the same emotions. They feel buyer's remorse. They feel seller's remorse. Look at this. What was resistance turns into support. How does that happen? Well, there are people who sold, and when the price goes higher, they're like, darn. I want to say a swear word, but I try not to swear. It's one of my things. I working on trading desk for my whole life. It's just like cussing is just so prevalent. But when I was running my last trading desk, I put a big jar up there, and I'm like, all right, every time you swear, $1 goes into the jar, and once a month on a Friday, you're treating for lunch, and it really does make people get more conscious of what they're saying. What I see a lot of these people, like for example, I just saw this guy Matt Whitaker on one of the news channels, who is he's a former attorney, blah blah blah. It's like every other word the guy says is okay, okay, blah blah blah, okay, and we're gonna do this, and this is I mean, I was literally counting him, and it was like within a minute he said like 20 times. So I think he should try to become more eloquent. What I would do if I was him, I would hang a sign right in front of me, and I do this too. I say a lot. I say a lot. Put a sign. Do not say Okay, don't say no. Anyway, the guy is a very smart. The guy is a very smart guy, but he says so many times. I can't even listen to him. You know, like Nel Cavuto. I like Nel Cavuto, but he's just like okay. And this person said and we're gonna go to this okay. All right. I'm sorry, everybody. Resistance at a former resistance level. The reason why we see these same patterns is because, regardless of the security, the people that trade them have the same emotions. Now, I think this whole Bitcoin thing I think Bitcoin is going to go down. And here's why. Okay. Had this great news, blah, blah, blah. The SEC approves everything, blah, blah, blah. Great. Well, like I said before, it's a crowded trade. People that want to buy have bought. So Bitcoin is stalled out at this long-term resistance level, and I am totally watching this for a trade on the downside. Coinbase, I mean, look at this action. Okay, you don't need to be a stock guru. Does this look like action that's good? Does this look like a stock that's about to rally? Not to me. It's aggressive selling, aggressive selling. Let's look at some of these new Bitcoin ETFs. If I could find the symbols. Let's see here. And these things, frankly, were a freaking disaster today. Oh, gosh, I hate looking at websites because I hate all this pop-up stuff. As a trader, I used to always go on the NASDAQ website for information and news releases, and now it's just like pop up this, pop up that. But anyway, forget that. So let's look at some of these Bitcoin ETFs, and let's think about how conventional wisdom is typically wrong. People bought this stuff, bought Bitcoin because everyone and their sister is like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's going to go up, blah, 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 blah. Let's look at some of the charts here. Let's look at, Valkyrie. Okay, you got to like the Valkyrie. Good movie with Tom Cruise, by the way. True story. What was his name? Lieutenant something Dorf. They wanted to assassinate Hitler. But anyway, we talk about history on our other page, and tonight we're going to talk about stocks. All right, so let's look at the Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund, BRRR. Now, and let me ask you a question. If you're listening to me right now, you're probably not an experienced investor. You're probably trying to learn. And I think that's great because most people that get into trading think they don't need to learn. They think someone could teach them, tell me what to do this, do that. You can't become a carpenter in one day. Okay. You can't become a plumber in one day. You can't become a lawyer in one day. If you want to be a trader, you need to spend some time getting educated. And it's probably not as long as you think, but that's why I'm glad you're here. So let's look at the Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund. Opened here, got up to here. Look at where it closed towards the lows of the day. Let's pick another one, the Franklin. Okay, I mean, I'm a big fan of Benjamin Franklin. Let's see, one of the greatest or smartest people who's ever lived. EZBC. I would imagine it's going to look very similar BC. Look, wow, this one's even worse, man. Look at that. So it opened here, it got all the way to here. This is where it closed. What does this show? This shows people are just dumping this stuff, man. You know, people are like, this ain't going up. Let me sell. All right, I'm gonna pick one more before I get going here. Invesco is a big company. All right, let's check it out. BTCO. Remember, the best traders let the market tell them what to do. They go into it with a defensive or kind of an agnostic opinion. If you show up every day in the market and you think, okay, today I'm going to buy this or today I'm going to sell that, you're not going to be successful because you know what, dude? You don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If you want to be successful, you have to accept the fact that you don't know what's going to happen and don't guess. Let the market tell you what to do. If something gets to support and it's really oversold, there's a good chance it's going to rebound. That's the market saying, hey, dude, check it out. We're oversold. We're at support. Blah, 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 blah. What is the market telling me here? This thing traded almost 1 million shares today. Well, the market is telling me the investing public does not want this. They puked it out. All right, everyone. I got to go spend some time with my darling wife and blah, blah, blah. But make sure you check back in tomorrow because there's some really interesting stuff going on in the market. And sometimes the market is kind of quiet and it's okay to stay away from it. It's okay to be on the sidelines. But sometimes there's a lot of activity, and that's where our profit opportunities come. And I think that's what we're seeing now. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Please make sure you check back with our website and our YouTube channel, and I will see you soon.